Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. So today, welcome back to another video. Before we start on to this video, make sure you hit that subscribe button and make sure you hit that like button. And if you choose to subscribe, make sure you hit that post notification bell down there so you guys are the first one to see my video. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about the tropics and the dry air. So I post 2 videos a day, try to at least now. One based off the USA rain, what we're seeing in the USA, hail, storms, all that. And then I'll have a later on video talking about the tropics, our future systems, all types of things like that. There's a few things that are not up here, like what type of storms we see in June, our last hurricane season, stuff like that, as we go on to the video. And then today's question is, what are the 3 things hurricane needs to develop? So here's our last year repeat what I was talking about earlier, or just now. This was around 6/7/20. So in fact, it was only 3 days ago. This is start off to name being named Amanda. Normally, what they will do is when a storm comes out of this Pacific or even weakens like this and goes above or over Mexico, they'll rename it since it weakened and it will count as another storm. That's just how they do it. But as you guys can see, this is the track it took. A very funny track formed in the Pacific back here on the Mexico side, and pretty much took its track all the way into the Gulf of Mexico, crossing over Mexico as a good tropical storm. So here's our disturbance right here. Our 40% next 5 days, dispatching uh, strengthen more. And then down here, this is a little bit old actually. This is nothing. This is 0%. Never had a chance really, just because of the environment down there. Really, it's just never had a chance. But like I said, this is the question is, will history repeat itself? That's what it pretty much says. So going to the next slide, I've been showing this last few videos, but our next storm we are going to be watching as of right now could be potentially named Bill with a 40% chance of forming in the next 5 days. So right now we might be having the second storm in the next 5 to 6 days, even 7. So here's our most common tracks that we see during the area of development. Where this orange is where it's really common, and then basically over yellow, but we never have anything form. I would never say never, but we really don't have nothing forming in this Atlantic this time of year. Just too much wind shear, too much African dry dust, dry air, high centers, just sitting over there. That's why we never see it, and that's why you normally see this type of track crossing. The only way it ends up in the Atlantic if it crosses over Florida, but the most common is to form in the Gulf of Mexico. We normally don't see hurricanes coming off the African coast until August, September, that type of things. So here's our disturbance number, hashtag number 1. 40% chance of forming in the next 5 days. I think they might be bumping this up within the next 2 days to 60% chance. I wouldn't be surprised. So it's something we do have to keep an eye on because this is going to be crossing over Mexico and making its way into the Gulf of Mexico, and we don't know where it's going to exactly make landfall. We probably won't even know that until like 2 days, but nothing's going to be bad about it. It's just a very weak, maybe a good tropical storm right now. No categories, no hurricane right now. You're not going to see that thing type of year, this type of time of year. See, here's our uh, satellite imagery. So as you guys can see, that it's looking. We have some high top clouds on it. This hasn't been updated. I'm sure it has changed a little bit. It hasn't been updated since 11. But as we go on to the next video, as you guys can see, here's our cloud cover, our satellite imagery. Right here, this is where the area we were watching right now, as you guys can see. And then we have another storm right here that has a 0% chance of forming in the next 5 days, or even zero next 48 hours. But really, we're keeping an eye on this one. Looking pretty healthy right now. It looks like it's strengthening more day by day. So as we go on to the next slide, here we go. This is our tropical intensity index. Pretty much what this is when the red you see is highly favorable, and in the green you see is highly unfavorable. Highly unfavorable means a tropical system will not be able to form in this area. It can go through it, but it will not be able to form through this area. As you guys can see, that most Atlantic's on highly unfavorable right now. That's because we're not seeing no hurricanes right now. Which, like I said earlier, a lot of wind shear, dry air, highs, African dust coming off the Africa coast. But if you look down here, we have a highly favorable which, and right here, so like I said, it just depends what time of year it is. Like I said, you won't start seeing stuff until August, September, and coming off the African coast. So here's our wind shear map. The only thing that we are concerned about as of right now, this is the only thing that we're concerned about right here, but I don't think it's going to affect anything by the storm. This will all be moved out by the next weekend, or even this weekend it'll probably be out, and it's very like mild wind shear. It's not strong, it won't do nothing. Now if you get a hurricane down here, it will destroy it to pieces, but I think a little bit wouldn't hurt a hurricane. But here's your wind shear map. So really not too bad in the Gulf of Mexico, so it's good enough to see a tropical storm go through there. All right, so here's next slide. We're actually talking about, this is our moisture slash dry air. As you guys see, we have some very moist air where the tropic, where we're keeping an eye on this disturbance right now. So it's in a very moist air. And then once it gets into the Gulf of Mexico, if it does go in the Gulf of Mexico, which a lot of models have been showing that, we could see it moist. No dry air in there. No dry air where it might be making landfall. So, we gotta wait. Time only says it's time, so I guess we'll just have to wait until see where it's going to make landfall. But we do have a visual idea that it will be going into the Gulf of Mexico. So here's our, like I said, I showed this to you guys earlier. Likely, more likely, same thing. All right, so here's our European forecast update. So this is the start of it. This is around June 10th. So around today, I wouldn't say really today. I would say more over here because it is still over here. But by this is only 2 days, so that's the only thing I couldn't get about it. So as you guys can see right here, this is June 10th around today. June 10th around tomorrow. I think the European is pushing a little bit lower than usual, I think. But you can see some spin in this right now. I would say this is around, June 19th. So we're expecting this around June 19th, and then making it to the Gulf of Mexico around June 18th. So still another 8 days, another 9 days, and then talking about making a landfall as 108, which is a very weak tropical storm really. And this is around June 20th. So still another 10 days out before we start to see anything. But still, it's fun to see that, or good to see that we might, law models have been showing it, the European GFS and all that, been green that it's going in the Gulf of Mexico, but they haven't been green where it's going to make landfall. So here's your GFS right here, and this is around June 18th. They're both agreeing where it's going to be making its way into the Gulf of Mexico around June 18th. Same thing with European. It says June 18th. The GFS has the 19th. The 19th right here has it. The European has it around the 19th around here. So as you guys can see, 992, and as it makes its way to June 22nd, the GFS I meant has more of a slower time. So pretty much, if you guys look, sorry about the noise in the background. As you guys can see, that around 992, so that's a good tropical storm right there. It has a slower visual than the European. The European is saying around 20th. This is saying 22nd, and then making landfall around the 23rd. Like I said, around the 23rd. Right here as 989, which is a very good tropical storm. But I wouldn't go off where it's making landfall right now. I would only go off right now. I would go off around this right here because that's still 10 days out still. So I really wouldn't go off that. So here's all of our named storms since 1950. So pretty much you can see that we have more in the Gulf of Mexico and down here in the Caribbean Sea. Then Atlantic. Few right here. Let's see how many we have in total in the Atlantic. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 since over 70 years ago. More over here. So, like I said, it's really common to see it form in the Gulf of Mexico than down here. I'm not saying it's rare to have it. It's really rare to have it form in the Atlantic. So that's gonna be the wrap of the video today, guys. If you enjoyed it, make sure you hit that subscribe button below, and if you do choose to subscribe, hit that post notification bell down there. And our goal of subscribers is 20 by the end of this month. So don't forget to share this to your family, your friends, everyone. So until next time.